a video on candied cherries. So I've been faffing around with candied fruit recently and crystallized fruit, and the cherries were a reasonable price in the supermarket. It's not season for them, but as they were a decent price, I kind of thought we'd have a go at making some candied stroke crystallized stroke glacé cherries. It's got to be the same kind of process as making any kind of other kind of candied fruit. So it should be pretty straightforward. It's just a simple case of boiling it up in some sugar syrup for every day for 7 or 8 days, something like that. And then I remembered that actually I've got some. So this is Maraschino Cherries, and they're nice in a cocktail. They're quite expensive, but I remembered that I had some of these, and then I also remembered that the last jar that I had, there's always syrup left in the bottom of the cherries, so I had saved the syrup. So I kind of thought, can we use that syrup to kind of make a maraschino type of cherries type of thing? There need to be a certain type of cherry, but can we use the flavour from that to make some normal like cherries taste a little bit more like a cherry that we put in a cocktail? So, as it's just I haven't tasted this actually, as it's just a syrup really, a cherry syrup. So it's made, they make them with the juice from the cherries and sugar. So you kind of get like a double hit of the cherry flavour. Tastes a little bit like more like a cherry liqueur, and I suppose maraschino cherries are the ones that get used in to make a cherry liqueur. So I'm not going to use. I was going to do half the cherries in one batch and half in the others. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do a third. I'm going to do 3/4 of the cherries, and we'll just do plain glacé ones, and then we'll do like a quarter in there. So we'll add that syrup into that syrup, and then we'll add roughly half these cherries. I've stoned them, so they'll kind of do on the inside and the outside, and we'll kind of take the colour of that one kind of quite quickly out. There will be a few stones in here, so I don't want to put the stones in. So, oops, I've lost one already. So we'll do about half. And then I was in the supermarket as well, and they had, so you can see the stones there. They did have frozen cherries in the supermarket as well, and I was kind of thinking, maybe we could actually bypass using the fresh cherries and actually use frozen ones, because they're already pitted and they're cheaper. So these were £1 for every 100 grams, and the frozen ones were kind of like half that price. So, and they were already pitted as well. So you kind of get more from the frozen ones. Do I want to? No, I don't want to make too many cherries. I'll do a. No, let's put more in there. Let's put more in there. We'll see how it turns out. That many. So, and there's a bit of syrup, extra syrup there. You can put that juice in as well. Let's put the juice in that one. So I didn't have an olive or cherry pitter. So what I did use, it's kind of whatever you kind of got to hand. So I used this, which is a pipe, like a hollow pipe. So it was just about the right kind of size. So you just kind of push it through the cherries, through the bottom end of the cherries, and kind of push it through, and it pops out the top end, and out comes the sun. So we'll boil these up for 5 minutes every day for 7 or 8 days, and we'll kind of see how they turn out. I have high hopes, because the other candied cherries and that kind of stuff worked, so I can't see why these won't work. And certainly if we'll lose some of the maraschino cherry kind of flavour because it'll be soaked up by the cherry, so we can't carry on reusing the same syrup over and over and over again, but it'll just be kind of quite a nice, interesting experiment. Is that it? I think that's it. Yeah, so we'll keep having to add a little bit more water and a little bit more sugar as the days go by, because the cherries will soak it up, and we'll also lose some of the liquid through evaporation, because we're boiling it up every day. So it's not a dirty hand, that's just the cherry juice that's stained me. And yeah, so the frozen ones, I kind of think, maybe that's a future video. We'll have a go at see if we can make them with frozen cherries. The freezing process tends to toughen the cherries up, so they actually might make better glacé cherries once they've been frozen. And then I kind of thought what we'll do is we'll buy a bit of cherry, not cherry syrup, but like maybe a cherry cordial or cherry juice as well. So we'll kind of use that as the liquid, the cherry juice, and that'll kind of intensify the flavours. And that actually might kind of make a like a maraschino kind of cherry type thing. But it's a can't buy that anywhere locally, but so I have to order it. But it's alright, you know, when I'm ordering something a little bit more fancy, you just kind of, when I'm running out of cherries, so just buy that. But it's nice in a old-fashioned cocktail, if you want to be a bit posh. It's nice to have a cherry in. So, up to the boil, simmer for, like a hard simmer for 5 minutes, and then let it cool down, and repeat the process again tomorrow. 8 days later, so, as if by magic. Boil them up every day. Add a little bit more sugar and water as needed, and they have turned into glace cherries. They're still a little bit warm. So those are the maraschino ones, well, the mock ones. So let's taste. Proper one first. They're delicious. And that's tasty. Mock one. Let's see what we think. That wasn't the best one to taste. Let's try that one with a bit of juice. They don't taste as good, and they've kind of lost their cherry kind of flavour. So we can't actually make a mock one, but we'll jar them up. We might just be able to use them for something. I mean, there was additive in the syrup that I added to this, so I don't think the syrup will crystallise. But since the other one was made with just sugar and water, that's going to end up crystallising. So we'll strain out the cherries from the other cherries from the juice, this one, and we'll see if they crystallise. Well, they should do. Like the other candied fruit that I did crystallise, and it was really nice. So we'll just kind of see. So that and there like that, and then we're left with cherry juice, which we'll have to do something with. But I haven't tasted these yet. So they've kind of lost their sherry flavour. Those proper ones haven't, but these have. That's kind of quite interesting. All just leached out into the syrup. So I suppose if I was to do them again, I would cook them in cherry syrup. If I was to make those ones again, I'd cook them in I'd buy some cherry, not sherry, some cherry juice. And that's what I use as the liquid part of it. So, where's egg? That was better. So, I'm not bothered about mixing the juices anymore. So we'll pour that one into there. Like that. Come on, last one. And we'll put these on a plate, and we'll leave them out for a few days and see what happens to them. A little bit of juice will be fine. These look a little bit like olives, but Move those around. We'll see what happens to them. I think they'll crystallise and they'll be nice. That's that. We'll save that juice and do something with it. Probably next time I make a syrup sponge, I'll use that cherry juice in it as well. It's not very sticky, but that's fine. Some have shrunk as well. I think I know why that is, because there were two different batches of cherries that I bought, and ones were smaller. So those, obviously, if you're going to do it, you need to pick cherries that are all the same size. So that's that. We'll leave that for a couple of days, and then we'll be able to pour all that juice into there. And just enough to fill that jar. That jar might crystallise actually. Oh no, because I've added that other juice done from it. There should be enough additives in the other jar and the other juice that stop it from crystallising. But if it crystallises, we'll just cross that bridge when we get to it. So, we'll see what happens over the next few days with those, and if that crystallises. But anyway, that's it for the moment. They haven't started to crystallise. They've been out for about 3 days now, uncovered, and they haven't started to crystallise. So, I don't think they're going to crystallise like the other candied peel did, but they are nice all the same. These ones have, the problem is there were two different sizes of cherries. So, the smaller ones have overcooked more and candied more than the bigger ones. So, they're still nice, and don't taste like the normal Glace cherries you buy. They're nice. Could probably do with a bit of lemon in with them, but they're nice. And if you've got a glut of cherries, and if you want to preserve them and kind of use them in fruitcakes in the future, that you can do it. It just doesn't crystallise how I wanted it to do. I kind of thought that'd be really kind of quite nice, but there's obviously something in the cherries naturally that's stopping the sugar from crystallising. Just normally when you make sugar syrup, it's that's got a lot of sugar in it. It's quite difficult to stop it from crystallising unless you're going to add something to it, like a bit of lemon juice or there's products that stop it from crystallising. But anyway, interesting experiment. And if you can buy cheap cherries and you want to make your own Glace cherries or preserved cherries, it certainly works. I'll have another go at some stage, and I'll use some frozen cherries because they already come pre-pitted, so you don't have to pit them. They're generally cheaper, and we'll cook it in some cherry juice as well. So we'll kind of see how that works, if it intensifies the kind of cherry flavour. But anyway, success. I'm happy, and next time I make a fruitcake, they'll be going in it.